I didn't I didn't finish the week two reading either, and I didn't really review week three reading. But then I didn't want to miss the call because it's
Yes,
already
yes,
15.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I'll submit my assignments next week too because I think I need to sit with them
Okay,
than rushing. So,
okay.
but I know I should still. It's एक बारी you kind of fall behind where it's you kind of lose track of things.
Yes, yes.
Hopefully, I'll get time this weekend. I'll finish
Okay,
it.
okay. Okay. So in absence of anything else, we should start with the reading, and as and when Yasho is ready, she would join. So let's maybe go through it and we will see where we want to stop and delve deeper. So I would request one of you to read the first passage if it's possible. Yes. Yeah, who would like to read?
I'll start.
Yeah.
Week 3, Pain and Suffering. Sweet Mother, when we are faced with a difficulty, does this mean that the divine is trying to make us conscious of the defects of our nature? If you face it, yes. That is, as soon as you are in front of a difficulty, instead of giving way like a coward, you begin trying to conquer it. Then you may be sure that the divine is behind you. But if you are cowardly, the divine will not be there. That is, your cowardice cuts you off from the divine. But if you resist and want to conquer, you may be sure that the divine will be there to help you. There is not the shadow of a doubt about it. Question. But I want to know, if the difficulty comes, whether the divine is trying to make us conscious that we have defects, whether he deliberately puts difficulties in our path. No, that's not his way.
Yes. So I think this is a really pretty obvious, very plainly described anyway. And when mother says that if you are cowardly, the divine will not be there. So what are we doing when we are behaving in a manner which is seemingly coward? We are actually definitely identifying ourselves as a separate, limited self, right? So we are identifying ourselves wrongly. That's not who we truly are. And that's why mother says that then it cuts you off from the divine, because it's not that the divine is absent. It's as if a strong wall of resistance comes in between the happening and the light that is there, owing to the fact that this the wall of me, the person who is very limited, who is afraid of all the happenings, that is there. So that cuts you off, as if the essence is still there. The essence will never go away. The divine will never go away. It can never go away because there is no away for the divine. All that is divine. So where will it go? Right? But the thing is that I enter a dream into being a separate individuality, and I feel that I am cut off from the light. And the moment I am ready to get intimate with whatever challenge I am being faced with, there uh, the light of love, the light of understanding dawns again, and that is what connects me back to my inherent nature. So, and this gives us a lot of inspiration to go close as possible to any challenge that one may be facing. And we all face difficulties of one sort or the other. Life is not without difficulties. We all have our share. So, what is the attitude that I am taking? Am I identifying myself as a limited person, or am I using the opportunity to connect to a deeper strength? The same opportunity, but can be taken in different kind of attitudes. Yeah. So,
हाँ, मैं तो बहुत ही covered रही हूँ.
sorry.
I have as a person been very covered
Yeah. Yeah.
and weak and limited and
Yeah, we all have been, Preeti. We all have. It's not that there is only one person who would be covered. We all have phases in life where we act in a limited manner. And the moment I realize what I have been doing, that very moment I can stop doing it. So far, I was ignorant of the fact what I was doing. Then it's okay. It's kind of forgiven almost. But if I know that. Uh, I, it is the way of being a coward that I am identifying myself as a limited person, unworthy, lacking sense of worth, and all that. The moment I know that this is not the right attitude, and I always have a choice, that very moment, the free will comes into action. That I have a choice whether to continue the old pattern or whether to make this new step, a new beginning.
yeah,
Yes.
true.
I just wanted to say, but if you resist and want to conquer, right? It could be just the verbiage, like, but if you resist and want to conquer, so like
Yeah.
you should be resisting,
Yes. No.
resisting.
That you pointed it out, I also noticed that. So, but if you resist the cowardice,
uh,
so if you resist not falling into identification with the limited person, which is a fragment in the universe, if you resist falling in trap with that identification, that is what resist, uh, matters here. It's not that you resist the situation. You resist being identified with that limited person who is so little in this universe. Yeah, that's where it is.
Should I read the physical suffering?
Sorry.
I think I said, do you want me to read ahead?
Yeah, definitely. Yes. 1 minute. Do you have your own PDF open, or shall I
Yes,
collect?
yes, I do. I do.
Okay,
I
so
did
just
have my
yeah.
I have a printout actually. So it's easier. Phy- Physical suffering. Should I start, or do you want to highlight?
Yes. No, start. I'll keep on highlighting. Start.
So, physical suffering, three stages of its schooling. Pain is the touch of our mother teaching us how to hear and grow in rapture. He has three stages of her schooling: endurance first, next, quality of soul, last, ecstasy. As far as moral things are concerned, this is absolutely obvious. It is indisputable. All moral suffering molds your character and leads you straight to ecstasy when you know how to take it. But when it comes to the body, it is true that doctors have said that if one can teach the body to bear pain, it becomes more and more resilient and less easily disrupted. This is a concrete result. In the case of people who know how to avoid getting completely upset as soon as they have a pain somewhere, who are able to bear it quietly to keep their balance, it seems that the body's capacity to bear the disorder without going to pieces increases. This is a great achievement. I have asked myself this question from the purely practical external standpoint, and it seems to be like this. Inwardly, I have been told this many times, told and shown by small experiences, that the body can bear much more than we think if no fear or anxiety is added to the pain.
Yeah.
If we eliminate the mental factors, the body left to itself has neither fear nor apprehension nor anxiety about what is going to happen. No anguish, and it can bear a great deal. Did you want
Yes.
me to start?
Yes. 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 First, maybe just take up this one, and then we'll read further. So this.
This is
Yes.
like my personal experience, very
Yeah.
much like just captured it, or the way you say it, no, as long as there are no stories attached to it, there are no mental stuff, psychological stories attached to it. It's actually the physical pain is much easier to deal with.
Beautiful. That's true.
I'll let you share. Sorry.
No, no, please share. I'm very happy that you
No,
shared.
no,
Please.
this is, has been my reality, but somewhere I think I, in a way, it, it's it's a very, in a subtle way, I think it was my identification with body in a mental, it was very convoluted, but it kind of uh, broke beginning of this year, something broke. And honestly, I started feeling better. The pain is there, but it's just the pain is there. It was before it was like my back is hurting. It was like, it was all about my back hurting would take over my life sort of thing. I
Yeah.
know it doesn't sound so bad, but I was so stuck in it for so many years, and it made me so dysfunctional. Just a simple thing. Now I look back at it, I'm like, kya tha? It was nothing. It was so stupid, like illusion maybe, right? But it's just when you were in it, was stories and stories. In like even intellectually, I knew it, psychosomatic illness, all that. But
Yes.
to actually
Yes.
feel it, to actually sit with it, and I think maybe that's what was needed. So it's very clear. Like even right now, I'm not feeling so great, but it's fine. It's my back. It's a part of what it is. I'm able to
Beautiful.
function.
Yeah.
So it just completely makes sense. This is exactly, I've seen it in my real life. It's been
Beautiful.
nice.
Beautiful. Anyone else on this?
I have a question. Is it okay if I
हाँ हाँ.
So, अभी जो हमने what we read before, in which that person had asked that question that the divine would never give difficulty on their own, right? But here now we are talking about how pain is kind of good and it gives you this. We have that thing that pain is the hammer of the god, right? Like it's a tool to a means to an end, kinds to make you, I mean, to wake you up. So why did the mother then say no, or there the difficulty means something else?
Yeah, very good question, Taru. And I'm sure that it's context to context because it is talked, it's these are like conversations with disciples, especially the earlier one was a question and answer. So I'm sure it is a context related response that mother is giving, and we cannot connect the dots between these two. And that Sadak may be asking, that I keep on getting these challenges, is the divine wanting me to give challenges? So mother said, no, it's not like that. It's just that this is the way manifestation is, that something looks like a challenge to us and something feels very easy. So it is the way of nature, it is the way of manifestation. And it's not that somebody else is sitting over there and wanting you to give more difficulties that you learn and grow and whatever. So it's not designed in that way. So I think mother was referring to that aspect, that there is not somebody else sitting there and wanting to give you difficulties. Yeah.
Got it.
Now, this thing, pain, if, as Jasmine shared so beautifully, that if one is, and we all have experiences with pain. I'm sure Preeti, Taru, and Yasho, we all have gone through pains of all kinds, and we know that when there is no story associated with pain, pain is a different experience. It's a different experience, and it somewhere connects us with a deeper strength. I think all of us have, most of us, if not all, have gone through uh, the kind of process of giving birth to a baby, right? And Even if you have a cesarean section, the pain is still there. Although the quality of pain is different, but the pain is still there. And somehow I feel that again, the pain of delivery, the pain of birthing a baby, that again connects us something in us, deeply gets connected with which was not available to us earlier. And when we go through really strong headaches, or period cramps, or other things, maybe other Ill, illness related aches, they all, if one can be with the pain, many a times one cannot be with the pain, so one needs to take some external help, like Disprin Lily, or whatever painkiller might be needed. But most of the times we see that if we are able to bear the pain, something changes. It gives us something. It gives us, connects us to a deeper strength. And it also has the capacity to dissipate. The more I personally have experiences with headaches, and I've mostly survived without taking any medicine, and maybe letting the body sleep or rest more, or feeling the vibrating pulsation of the pain in the body. And I think this is also one of the gifts of being alive. A stone cannot uh, feel pain. So it is also this pain, I feel that it is also an experience to go through. The feeling of headache on, maybe it's not very pleasant, obviously, but yes, it does make us feel alive, that yes, something is vibrating, something is pulsating, so let's go through it, let's walk through it. Yeah, so Preeti has shared
And
some.
and something it's physical too, right? It's same thing as how you say you put your hand in the fire. Like if you're tired, your body is tired for something. Or we would, yeah, it's tired, and now I would listen to it to rest, and I bounce back much faster than trying to drag it. Or and then that's how it becomes chronic because you're not dealing it with acutely, and I think you just add to it.
Yeah.
But there's another somebody just said like if you have higher connection, you don't feel the pain. I think there is a trick. It can get tricky there because sometimes you can disconnect from the pain. I have seen that in people who, it's a kind of sorry, one second. So I have seen the one side is where you can really identify with the pain in a and then you suffer, and the other side is where you can actually be completely disconnected from your body. A lot of people like that too, and they don't realize it. It's almost like it happened to my cousin, and the doctor is like, how come like itni badi wo cheez बढ़ गई and you didn't feel it? Like no,
Uh-huh.
because they're so disconnected from their body.
Yeah.
So I think there's nothing really
Yeah,
wrong
that's
in
quite
feeling pain. Like
good.
What I was referring to was that, like, um, suppose sometimes you have a headache, but then if you get involved in something which you're very passionate about, वो थोड़ी देर के लिए आपको पता ही नहीं चलता कि headache है. फिर
Yeah,
जैसे ही आप उस एक्टिविटी से वापस आते हो, again you say, oh my God, the headache is still there, but it was not there a while ago.
true, true. Yeah.
Like whenever I go for a nature walk, all my pains go away.
Mm,
that's so true. I
I'm in
think
that
something
expansion, in the, I don't know, the greenery or the sky or the breath or whatever.
mm,
uh, Either you get involved or that expansion feeling kind of uh, calms down some nerves or
soothes
something.
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
like
even
it
when you're
soothes your
reading or
senses.
watching something which you are really enjoying and loving, and for that moment, it happens.
Mm, mm, yeah. So this is something which
Also,
Mother
when we
shares.
sleep,
Sorry, Preeti.
body is resting when we sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
That the connect of that pain nerve, कुछ फीलिंग नहीं होती. आप सुबह उठते हो, वो थोड़ी देर तक नहीं होगी, और फिर अगर वो पेन है किसी बीमारी से या कुछ, वो वापस आ जाती है. मगर when you sleep, you don't feel it, and when you get up, for some time you don't feel it, and जैसे ही वो conscious mind उस तरफ जाता है, वो
Mm,
पेन वो mentally वापस आ जाती है.
mm, mm,
I mean,
yeah,
during my illness time, I felt it when, maybe because you start thinking about it.
yeah,
If
yeah.
you keep yourself busy, वो कवर्ड रहती है.
Mm. Yes. So this thing that mother shares here is really very beautiful if we go into the detail. It's almost that I am completely allowing the headache to be. Usually what happens is that whenever I have a headache, whenever there is migraine or whenever there is a cramping or whatever one may be going through, there is always a resistance alongside. So I have a headache and something in me does not want that headache. I have a migraine and something in me wants the migraine to go away quickly. So we are never away. So we are never actually able to meet the visitor, if I can say that. We are never able to meet it. And that's why it also keeps on coming again and again, because I have never met it. And it wants to be met. It wants to be allowed. It has been allowed by the universe. That's why it is manifesting. So who am I to say no, no, no? And that becomes the cause of my suffering. So pain can be there, but suffering happens when I have a resistance towards my pain. And this, what mother shares here, if I allow the pain to be, to bear it quietly, to keep their balance, it seems that the body's capacity to bear the disorder without going to pieces increases. So it somehow takes us deeper, as if there is a deep well within each one of us. The strength of that well we have never tapped. We feel that I am so lacking in strength, I'm so weak, I am unworthy, as if I have never traveled so far in my depth. So pain gives me a chance to travel that far and tap onto that hidden strength which is lying untapped. And this, I'm sure if some of us have experienced or would like to experiment, whenever a pain or something happens next to the body, yes, yes, that's the gift. Yes, that's the treasure. Whenever something happens, so what we do is, I see that there was going to be a resistance there कि ये जल्दी से खत्म हो जाए, but something comes and tells me, okay, let's allow it to be fully. Let no resistance remain. So you are drenched in that pain, yes, for some time. There is no part in my being which is saying go away, yeah, get rid of it. Nothing. No resistance is there. Now what is left is an alive, raw experience, experiencing itself. This is life. This is life. A raw experience, experiencing itself through what I call me. There is no resistance of a separate person who is saying go away, go away, go away. Why are you here? Now this, when I go through this, when I let it happen, this is the richness of life. This is the unfolding of life, because here I have never been. And that's where we connect with these deeper gifts. And again, one has to remind oneself that even if there is a trace of a person in me which is saying that इसको थोड़ा सा कर ले सहन, अब फिर गिफ्ट मिलेगा, you know that is not going to work. So the person called I, has to completely melt away in the experience, in the rawness of experience. There is no rush for the experience to go away. There is no work waiting for me. The work will be waiting for me. Yes, all the works keep on waiting for us, but we are really not that important. Know that. No matter if I am a single mother, double mother, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I cannot keep escaping my life in order to play the roles that I think I have to play. Allow yourself to be broken, shattered. And when that phoenix kind of rises from the ashes, that is rebirthing, that is what is the gift to ourselves. And this can happen through every challenge, every difficulty. If no fear, no anxiety is added to the pain. Now, fear and anxiety both are, where are they coming from? They're coming from this separate self who doesn't want to be threatened. So, in that rawness of experience, what I am doing actually is I am dissolving as if the separate self. There is no one here who is going to say, go away, pain. And there we connect with the divinity. And that's again connecting to the first passage that we read, that cowardice cuts off from divinity. Yes, let me read this. Yes, yes, Jasmine. So Jasmine is sharing that as I sit with the pain or allow the pain to be, I shatter to a point where I means the person is zeroed out, and it feels like something takes over, something divine takes over that the whole experience. Yeah. Yes.
So, Monica, yesterday,
Yeah.
um, I was going through some emotional pain, and I tried this experiment of experiencing it without shunning it away. What I could do at the most was not attach stories to it, but that urge to run away from it couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you say emotional pain, it was suffering, right?
Yes,
The story about it.
not the story. So an incident happened. I could feel the rawness, as you say, in the body. I could, its impact in the body, and I stayed with it. Did not attach the story to it. Did not attach the past and the future and why me and all that to it,
Yeah.
but wanted to get rid of it.
But you wanted to get rid of it.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Yes. So that is like you went into the well, but you did not go deep enough. So so I would say the next time it happens again, go further deeper, allow yourself to go further deeply. And this thing that you say that still wanted to get rid of it, as long as this resistance will stay, the whole rawness of the experience is not still being experienced. So that separate thing that comes pops up again and again, according to it, it tells me that if I go through the experience, something wrong will happen. It is not right to go through the experience fully. And that is why it comes again and again as a ball, and it says, don't go through it fully, don't go through it fully. It's not worth it, like that. But where is the proof? Ask it
Mm.
for proof, talk with it maybe. Ask
So
it, where is the proof? Yeah.
it was a fear that it's going to spiral out of control.
Yeah. So ask it again. When
Yeah.
this is the question that, okay, when that thing is saying that it may be spiral out of control. So then ask it, then what? What will happen next? And wait for the answer.
Okay.
So you have this dialogue and go to the root where it is taking you, and you will see that something will sublimate on the way. Something will It will actually appear that as if it the more closer you go to this thing which pops up again and again, it actually, you see that there is no solidity to it, as if it does not exist. It's more like a mirage. It appears but it is not there. It appears but it is not there. When will I get to know that it is not there? When I go actually to the depth of it. If I only stop midway, then it will appear as a ghost still. So if it is still appearing as a ghost, if it is still appearing as a wall of resistance, it means I have not gotten deep enough. So allow yourself next time to go deeper. And this actually,
Um,
life becomes an experiment when you do that. It's beautiful, especially challenges, make it really beautiful. Yeah, who wanted to share?
yeah, Monica, on similar line, what talking about the experience and what you talked about, the resistance, the wall. I think I've been talking about saying that a lot, that I feel stuck, and I realize it's that freezing and frozen. Maybe I freeze just at the thought of it.
So
It's
Jasmine,
something that wants to come up.
just say
Can
it
you hear
again.
me?
Your voice is cracking in
Yeah.
between.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Let me get my other headphone.
Yeah.
You know how, can you hear me better now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. You know how you were saying, like, you haven't gone deep enough and it's the wall of resistance? Is sometimes, like, I think I've been saying that too, that I feel stuck. I get this stuck feeling, right? And, I've realized it's like I'm doing this experiment, like you say, trying things out, sitting with, uh, it's like चाहे वो छोटी सी चीज से शुरू होता है, but it's almost like कुछ बहुत बड़ा open up हो जाता है. Sometimes it's so overwhelming. Okay, it's I physically, literally feel that I've frozen, and
Yeah,
I'm like, it's like I hit that wall, and I've been sitting with that wall for days now,
yeah.
and um, so my I don't know, is it so? And then I try to focus on the present, which
Mm-hmm.
is like it, but I'm now. But now में जैसे सब कुछ ठीक है. It's like now is fine. Now present moment is fine. But this it feels like there's still something there in the background.
Yeah.
I might not make sense. I'm trying to, as I'm speaking it out loud, I'm actually trying to understand it from what you just said and you guys just discussed.
Yeah.
But it's almost like now me to ठीक, but there's still that heaviness, the stuckness, or something is there, and I don't
Yeah.
know how to explore it or what am I doing? Maybe I'm resisting more.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
Yes,
and I
I
was,
I
and
resonate with what you're saying.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you know what? Yesterday I was in this thing, like knowing all this, it's almost we know about the story and all that. But I really didn't want that my internal truth. I wanted a story. I wanted something story to, and I wanted another story to kind of calm my story. I
Yeah.
didn't want the truth. It was like I was almost mad. Like I
Yeah.
needed a story. Like don't give me that. It's almost like don't give me the spiritual this thing. Like when I
Yes.
sat with it now, I'm just saying. But I was in that thing. Like don't give me. No, I need a story. I need a
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was real. I mean, knowing everything, my truth. And I've been to that beautiful space too, where I feel all that, whatever. At least that's divine. To me, that's divine. I don't know. It might be more depth to it, but that's
Yes.
divine
Yes.
for me. But I was like, no, give me the story and cut the crap. It was literally, and I went through all that. So,
Yes.
yeah, I don't
Yes.
know what you have to say to
I
that.
understand where you're coming from, Jasmine. Yes. Yes. Actually, the stories are our old habits. It is not easy to get rid of the habit so easily. And that is why so much of stress on remembrance, or remembrance of my true nature, remembrance, or making it a habit of having a satsangat, for example. That's why the company of good words, and company of people who make you see the truth. And why is it important? Because it is a very old habit with all of us. It is, the stories have become our life.
Yeah,
So we almost go through a withdrawal effect. We are addicted to the stories. And whenever I'm leaving an addiction, you know how hard it is to leave an addiction.
it actually does feel like that, like addiction.
Yes,
And
yes,
it's
it
almost like it comes with a vengeance, sort of like,
is.
कि तू उस तरफ जा रही है, so here I come. you
Yeah,
know, almost feel like it wants to, I mean, I feel stronger establishing my truth, but जैसे वो strength बढ़ रही है, that it feels
yeah,
like this comes. I mean, obviously, I'm putting it in a way that. more to
Yeah,
words,
yeah,
but
totally.
it is like that.
Yeah. And that is why one has to be very lovingly doing this, whatever work that we are doing, it has to be full of love. Otherwise, this vengeance, it will come back with a renewed rigor. All the story and the rasa of the story, the dukh ras, it will actually come back with renewed vigor. So one has to be very kind and gentle to oneself. Very kind and
So
gentle.
here, so here, when it's coming up, the other challenge was, Jigani Basa, is this something a residual thing that I didn't process, or is it something my head? Like, it's somewhere I felt it's also maybe a lot of times I didn't process it. It is like I shoot it away. Was it that I needed to acknowledge it, or uh, was it something like I exactly didn't know? Maybe there was a lot of confusion.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was a
Let
lot of
it be. Let it be.
uh,
So
so I
what?
just let it be.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever phase you are going through, firstly, all of us must know that whatever phases we are going through, there is nothing wrong with those phases. This assurance has to be there. I may not be able to go to the depth, yet there is nothing wrong that is happening that I must go to the depth, I must go to the depth. Nothing like that. And that is what I mean by being kind and gentle. This is very hard work that we are at. It's not an easy work, and that's why there's so few people who would want to walk this path. So first of all, know that the work is hard, and one has to treat oneself very, very kindly, very gently. Secondly, there is nothing wrong with the phases that we are going through. Nothing wrong, 0% wrong. Even if when I am connecting to the falsehood, even if when I'm identifying to the falsehood, all of that lila is happening in truth. So we can never be
Very
off
true.
center. Be assured. Even when I am not able to go to the root of my challenge, all that is happening in a beautiful vastness already. There is nothing lacking if I am not able to go to the depth of the challenge so far. The depth that you touched till now, that is enough for now. And that is why only that is allowed. The more I become capable of going deeper, deeper, one does not become a deep skydiver in one day. One first touches the water, then one becomes familiarizing, one with the water, then playing around with the water, then maybe going 1 feet deep, 2 feet deep, with a trainer. So this is how the process is. It's we are all not deft at it, and that is why all the failures, all the successes are very welcome. This is a beautiful alchemy that is happening, and we are just grateful to be on this path of witnessing this alchemy in all of us. So allow yourself to go to 1 feet, 2 feet, maybe come back and maybe don't dive for 2 days, rest at home. Do not dive. Okay, so we take rest. When we have swimming lessons, diving lessons, we take rest. So the slower the progress is, the slower I am able to gentle, I am able to be with myself. It will remain for me as a living experience. There is no need to rush through it. The steps have been given, but sometimes we take one day for that step. Sometimes we take a lifetime, and both are allowed. One cannot say the one who did in one day is better than the one who did it in a lifetime. There is no scale like that. So first of all, as I was sharing, be very, very gentle to yourself, and be very kind, very loving. Love is the only transformative power. Mother Sri Aurobindo have said it again and again. Only love can transform, nothing else. So if we are here to transform our life, to transform our suffering to ecstasy, it cannot be done without love. It cannot be done in hatred towards my states of being. Yes, I am very dependent right now. Yes, I am very coward right now, but it's okay. I'm fine. I'm taken care of. So keep the judging at bay. Keep the hate against, your own self at bay. Because judging is again one kind of a thought that I identifying with. And then everything happens very, very slowly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, yes, very true, Jasmine. So Jasmine is sharing that I realized a lot of my anger is resistance to what I felt as if I wanted to go away. And yes, this happens with uh, all of us, that we think that, oh my God, I have been working on my pain for so many years, or maybe these many months. Why is it still there? Why is it still there? And that becomes like a wall of resistance, and we actually struggle through it. So what is happening? See, life is giving me this richness, going through pain, suffering. It's actually rich. It's rich of experience. Pain, suffering, challenges, all these, myriad kind of difficulties, they are rich of experiences. It is like a uncharted maps opening up in front again and again, again and again, in a beautiful way. And what I am doing is, why are you here? Why are you here? So the universe has already allowed it, and that is why it is manifesting. The universe has allowed that emotional pain to be there, and I am the king and the queen of all stories. I am sitting here and I am saying, why on earth are you still there? And that becomes the cause of my misery again and again. So the first step is owing to the knowing that if the universe has allowed, it is already allowed. I am too late if I now say I accept you as you are. I'm actually too late. It's a belated allowance, but still we do it. We say that, yes, pain, okay, you're welcome. And when I am saying pain, you're welcome, I cannot be standing in a weaker ground. It is not possible. From a weaker ground, I cannot say pain, you're welcome. So when I am able to say pain, you are welcome, difficult, hate, whatever wants to be there, you are welcome. The moment I say you are welcome, I am actually changing, shifting my ground. I am connecting myself to a deeper strength. A tsunami is welcome only by a tree which is strongly rooted. A tree which is not rooted cannot say welcome tsunami. Or a tsunami can be welcomed by space itself, because space has nothing to lose. So it will say welcome, come, bring it on, because one has nothing to lose. So remind yourself again and again that even when the situations go spiral out of control, what do I have to lose? What do I have to lose? My stories? Let them be. My past? My dignity? Let them go. True dignity can never shatter away. True essence of our being can never ever shatter away. So what's the issue? Let them spiral out of control. Bring it on, bring it on. All the tsunamis are welcome. Now, when I say that, I actually connect myself to this deeper space, deeper vastness. And this is the practice, if one can use the word practice or sadhana that we use. This is the sadhana. Connecting myself back again and again to this deeper place of strength where nothing needs to be protected. I am holding on to nothing. Nothing. I am nobody. So, what is the respect that I want to have when I'm nobody? Kill me, kick me, kick on my butt, insult me. I am nobody. This is the real freedom. This is the absolute freedom. This is what connects us with our deeper strength. This is divinity in one form. Absolute freedom to be who you are. And then, all the movements of life, they just become beautiful teachers, wonderful teachers, when the resistance is gone. And so far, resistance may be required. But as and when I'm becoming capable of taking more and more, I see that resistance is actually letting me not experience the life fully, as if it's a life half lived. As if a weight is going on, कि कुछ तो है जो बचा है, कुछ तो है जो बचा है. ऐसा लगता है. क्या बचा है? The raw experience in its fullness. वो बचा है. और कुछ नहीं है. Nothing is going to come in future. Yeah. So keep sharing as and when anything comes. So let's go to the second stage then. Yeah, who would like to read the last paragraph?
May I?
Yes, please.
The second step is when the body has decided to bear it. You see, it takes the decision to bear it. Immediately, the acuteness, what is acute in the pain, disappears. I'm speaking absolutely materially. And if you are calm, here another factor comes in, the need for inner calm. If you have the inner calm, then the pain changes into an almost pleasant sensation, not pleasant in the ordinary sense, but an absolute comfortable feeling comes. Again, I'm speaking purely physically, materially. And the last stage, when the cells have faith in the divine presence and in the sovereign divine will, when they have this trust that all is for the good, then ecstasy comes. The cells open. Like this, become luminous and ecstatic.
Beautiful. Yes, beautiful. So this is something which is more of words, if not experienced practically. So that's why those of us who feel ready to practically dive into it, that's where the ecstasy lies. So I may be having, let's take continue the example of a headache, the most common example. Now you see, it takes the decision to bear it. The moment I say yes, I'm going to be with it, it is okay, I can be with it, there itself the acuteness, the sharpness of the pain disappears. So one that was giving rise to unbearable, that harshness, that, and mother says that it absolutely materially it disappears. So the acuteness disappears, the residual will still be the residual pain. And then this, we will also work upon this in further, I think there is another week where we talk about calling peace in the body, calling rest in the body, in the cells. And in these acute challenges where I'm going through maybe emotional pain also and physical pain also, where if I'm able to call peace in the body, and how do I have been practically kind of experimenting with it, and how I did it, I'm sure we can use several methods to call peace in the body. For example, if I went to Pondicherry and I felt an absolute peace at the Samadhi, or I watched a sunrise or a sunset. So, one single memory of absolute peace, we may all have it. We all have it in one way or the other. If you recall that memory and bring that peace back in the body, that absolute stillness back in the body, it actually works like magic with physical pain and also emotional distress. So one is not able to connect dots emotionally, whatever is going on, confusion is there, chaos is there. One doesn't resolve the issues at all. What to do, how to find peace? Call peace. And it may appear like something like a theory, but the power that it has when it's done, it is absolutely magical. How you don't even realize that you slept with this invoking peace, and when you get up in the morning, uh, you feel so resolved. You have no idea what happened. You still don't have any ideas about the resolution externally of the relationship, of the issues, but still there is a resolved resolution that you feel inside, as if some knots were loosened, and there is a lightness in the being. So if you can allow that calling peace, we will, as I said, we will come to it in one or the other worksheets, that we will call peace in the body. Remember that very instance when I felt a deep calm and stillness in the body. Allow it to still the whole body before sleep, for example. Still, the mind is still, the thoughts are still, nothing is moving. Mother says that lay dead like a towel on a bed. It does not move. Just like that. Stay absolutely still. And when you will get up in the morning, it is not possible that a trace of that heaviness remains. So, when in the middle of a physical pain, I am able to call absolute stillness, the pain almost changes to being a comfortable feeling. I'm fine with it. I'm completely as if I'm going into the grains. We look with a microscope, and if you look at a bed sheet with a microscope, you will see grains in the bed sheet, like small threads of which it is made of. So as if your peace and stillness permeates into that corner of the being, each and every corner of the being permeated by that peace. And this, those of us who actually, one has to have a willingness to try it out, otherwise it's not possible. One can just ignore it, like, oh, I have heard many techniques like that and this won't work. But if one has a taste of it, if one wants to try it out, then it can be a beautiful experience. Yeah. It almost makes you feel more intimate with your body. Yeah. Yeah. So what is it that you say, Jasmine? I couldn't get it. When I lay down, the tsunami hits.
You were saying like when you lay down, your mind is calm, all that calm. It's like, I'm still calmer walking around, but the minute I like hit the bed at nighttime, it's
Yeah.
like this, you know,
So you
पता नहीं
don't.
कहाँ से अगला पिछला सब कुछ आ जाता है.
Okay. Okay. So you are bombarded with thoughts. That's what you're saying.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
that's what I meant.
Yeah, that's fine. And that's why calling of peace works only at these places where I'm bombarded with thoughts. So calling of peace is not required when I'm not bombarded with thoughts at all, right? So it is a perfect place to experiment if you want to experiment. Owing to the fact that I do have restlessness, only then it makes worth to call peace. Otherwise, there is no point.
So you feel physically so exhausted by that point. It's like you need physical rest to process that,
Yeah.
and but you need to clear the tsunami to get physical rest. So it's almost like cycles in the cycle.
Yes. Yes.
Get
Totally.
stuck in the cycle.
Yes.
But yeah, but I think the idea is to keep practicing
Yeah. No, so as long as you think that the vicious loop of thoughts is serving you well, go on. It's completely a free field, and each and every step you have free will. Where do I want to be? Do I want to call peace, or do I want to rather go with the exhaustion of the thoughts? And do whatever you feel inclined towards. One cannot push into this path कि नहीं जैस्मिन ये करना है तू कैसे नहीं बुला रही पीस that becomes more of a hassle कि जा पीस को मारो लात मुझे तो नहीं so it not
Yeah.
happen that way. Yeah. So once you will be
No, because
exhausted that I have thought enough and I have entered into the vicious loop of thoughts many times for years and years. Now I am not going to buy it into it anymore. Only then peace can be called. Otherwise, we can continue. Yeah, what were you saying?
I was saying because I am been having trouble sleeping, like restful sleep, and I am kind of maybe the days I get maybe during the day if I get the time to sit with it, it's better. But if I don't, it hits me in nighttime, and then I don't sleep, and then next day I wake up groggy, and then the whole cycle starts.
Yeah, yeah,
I haven't been yeah, yeah.
yeah. I'm with you. Yes, completely. Yes. Yeah,
But you know what? Now I'm just letting that be too. So,
yeah, yeah.
um,
So there
yeah,
was this
I like
session that
it.
The problem with the mind is, in fact, Monica helped me the other time when she said that कोई issue होता है ना तो उसको लेके बैठ जाओ और उसका वर्स से वर्स तक सोच लो क्या होगा, क्या हो जाएगा. Am I
Yeah.
audible?
yes,
Yes, yes,
Monica
yes.
used to say that कि क्या है वो रिश्ता ही टूट जाएगा ना, मतलब I'm just assuming one
I know.
example कि कुछ it's a relation between a
Yeah.
friend or a
Yeah,
couple
so
or
true.
something, and our mind doesn't sit and resolve one issue at a time ever.
True.
हम उसके बीच में कुछ और आ जाएगा.
mm,
That's true.
अगर हम
That's what I was
एक
gonna
इशू
say.
को लेके सॉल्व करने बैठे होंगे, हम ट्रेनिंग नहीं है ना, वी आर नॉट ट्रेन्ड. अभी हम वो कर
And
ही
it's
रहे
almost
होंगे कि
like
कहीं और से आवाज आ जाएगी और उठ के हम उस इशू का सोचने लग जाएंगे, तो वो वहीं रह जाता है. माइंड इज ऑलरेडी क्लॉग्ड
yeah,
एंड इट कंटिन्यूज. इफ वी रिजॉल्व
yeah,
इट देन तो कहानी खत्म हो जाएगी ना.
yeah.
that's true. I was gonna say वो तो जैसे चीजें ढूंढ ढूंढ के ले आता है ना एक हटाओ दूसरी ले आता है.
एंड हम अननेसेसरली फियर होते हैं बहुत. मैं अभी पिछले लास्ट मंथ आई वाज गोइंग थ्रू सम, मैंने थोड़ा मोनिका के साथ प्राइवेटली शेयर भी किया था. सो एंड नाउ आई सी माई सेल्फ, मैंने लुक बैक एंड ओ माय गॉड, दे आर ओके विद इट.
Hmm.
मैं ऐसे उन लोगों को हवा बनाया हुआ था मैंने. And
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
their
And
it is their learning also.
even
They have also evolving, and they will also accept it. मैं unnecessarily घबरा रही थी. Sometimes.
and कई बार इतनी बड़ी बड़ी चीजें रिजॉल्व करके भी एंड यू लुक बैक एंड सी यार क्या उतनी छोटी मतलब इतनी
Yeah.
बड़ी चीज को चलो उसको जो भी वो कुछ भी नहीं थी छोटी सी थी एंड देन स्टिल यू गेट स्टक इन द प्रेजेंट.
मुझे तो लगता है ये जो छोटी छोटी लाइनें बोलती है ना मोनिका, इनको ना फ्रेम करके ना टांग लेना चाहिए
So
दीवारों पे.
true.
It's okay, you are okay, everything is okay, this is also fine, you are in the pits, everything will be fine, divine. क्योंकि उस तरह से हमारे से किसी ने
No,
कभी
that's
बात ही
true.
नहीं करी है. So we are
No,
conditioned to
that's true.
think negatively all the time.
Mm,
You know what? I love it when my little son, everything he says, Mama, it's okay. And he says that a lot. And I feel like, this is, it's okay. Kuch tod bhi diya, that's it's okay. Maar
yeah,
diya to bhi it's okay. But, I feel it's a very beautiful reminder. Khud ke bhi
beautiful,
chot lagi, I'm okay. So
beautiful,
it's
beautiful,
okay. It's a good reminder.
beautiful.
I used to tease him कि हर सब कुछ okay है ना तेरे लिए.
Mm.
Now it's a beautiful
किड्स का प्योर
reminder to
सोल
him.
है ना वो. हाँ, वो सब
Yeah.
कुछ ठीक ही दिखता है.
I think this can be actually used, what you are sharing, that in the middle of the pain, in the middle of chaos, in the middle of all the suffering, at the heart of it, actually all is well. If one can remind oneself of that. Because what we try to do is that the mind first creates problems, as you were sharing, first it creates a khichdi, and then it tries to resolve that khichdi. And that resolution never happens. It has never happened for anyone on this planet. that resolution of the khichdi. Now, in the middle of that unresolved khichdi, it is a paradox, but it is true. In the middle of that unresolved khichdi lies absolute peace, as if nothing happened. But what the mind tries to do is, mind tries to find peace there in the conflict. जब conflict resolve हो जाएगा, तब मैं शांत होंगी. When I will be able to connect the dots, only then I will have some rest. So this is how we prolong the falsehood. I have to remind myself that no, in the middle of this confusion, I do not have to pay attention to resolving the confusion. I have to rest deeply where everything forever is resolved, where everything and ever was untouched. So whatever we may be going through right now, Preeti, Jasmine, Yasho, whatever we are going through right now, don't think that in future some resolution is going to come of those challenges. Na, bilkul bhi nahi. What will happen is I will find myself tapping more and more into that stillness which is available in the middle of tsunami, so that the tsunami for me does not matter, and slowly it loses grip over me. Now, whenever tsunami happens, I'm swayed. From here to there, I'm swayed. And then slowly and slowly, as I remember who I am, peace in the middle of tsunami, peace in the middle of tsunami. More and more, I will see that tsunami will stop mattering. And then tsunami will stop to occur. Because it will see, भैया यहाँ पे मेरी दाल नहीं गल रही, आगे बढ़े, दूसरा मकान ढूंढे. So this resolution of outer conflicts is something which will never happen. And that's where we drain our most of energies. When we say that I am totally exhausted. Why? Because the mind first, as you were sharing, creates problems, and then it invests energy to resolve the problem through the mind. It is not possible even, this reminds me of Albert Einstein. He said, I think Albert Einstein or maybe somebody else, the problem cannot be solved by the same mind that created the problem. Even genius scientists have seen that you have to stand at a different place so that the problem is seen in a different light. It cannot be resolved by the mind, because mind is the very creator. Mind is the problem. So how can mind, it's mostly as if I am fooled by the mind. So first the mind creates the problem, and now I am buying into the belief कि हाँ हाँ तू ही solve करेगा, बिल्कुल लगा अपनी पूरा energy लगा. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah. I think this is also from Albert Einstein. Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Jasmine is sharing. Yes. So, all these sufferings, all the pains, and all the challenges, now picture is becoming more clear. They are not there that we will find a resolution in the challenge. They are there because we will realize who we truly are is irrespective of pain, suffering, and challenge. Who I truly am is untouched by no matter what ugliness may have happened in life. The moment I take more and more stand there, everything all loses grip over me. Space cannot be held by anyone. I cannot say I'm holding air. I cannot say that I am, यहाँ पे मेरा कब्जा हो गया है, अब मुझे प्रोटेक्ट करके रखना है. And our true nature is that vastness of that space which need not be protected. And so long I am putting my energy in protecting anything, any damn thing, I am identifying myself at a wrong place. Space need not be protected. And that's why tsunami cannot shatter space. Tsunami cannot shatter nobody. It can only shatter somebody. As long as I want to be somebody, I will be shattered again and again. The moment I become a nobody, there is nobody who is there. Yeah, body may be there, feelings, mind, everything is there, but there is nobody I want to protect. What can tsunami disturb? Okay, body, take away. Mind, take away. Feelings, take away. Hold on to nothing, and then you have to fear nothing. I only have to fear as long as I am holding on to something. So when fear arises, when anxiety arises, it gives me a chance. Okay, now what am I holding on to? So life becomes an exploration. Okay, what am I holding on to right now? Let me see. And the moment I see, it kind of, dissipates. This is the power of the light of love, the light of seeing. That, okay, let me see what am I holding on to. Go closely, go intimate, go with love. Okay, let me see. अब किसका डर आ गया, चलो देखते हैं, पास जाके और थोड़ा पास और थोड़ा पास. Almost like lovers, you go closer, and then you dissolve. There is only oneness. The two-ness is gone. As long as the two-ness will remain, the love is not complete. So love is a beautiful revelation where we get closer to this oneness, uh, where the two-ness is not there. So as long as me and the pain will exist, there will always be suffering. As long as me and the life situation will exist, there will always be suffering.
1 second, just going back to oneness.
Yeah.
Before my thought breaks off, true love and oneness and to accept everybody. But my dam broke and I couldn't take too many tsunamis in my life. And I just couldn't, I wasn't strong, brave, whatever. That I had to cut it off.
Perfectly fine.
So then where does my oneness and love go?
Nowhere. Nowhere. You needed to cut it
That,
off because you needed to maintain your sanity. And it's completely fine. There is no one formula. And that's why there is so much of literature available, billions of people and billions of answers. Whatever is needed to preserve my peace, I take that step ahead, because peace and happiness is our nature. And if you need to cut it off immediately, sooner than later. There is nothing wrong in that. Take a stand for yourself. That's what you did. You took a stand for yourself. And it does not mean that you need to like all the persons in the world. Oneness does not mean that you need to love all the people in the world. That is not oneness. That is not what is ascribed as oneness. That I fall in love with the every next person I
no,
see.
it's
No.
not just fall in love, but these are especially people who are like your family and
Yeah,
whatever, sometimes
yeah, you
friends.
need to like them, Preeti. Don't feel
Mhm.
compelled to like or love them. Oneness is, when we talk about oneness, it is the oneness that everything has a continuity. Everything is aware and everything has this light of understanding. Everything demands peace and happiness. That is the oneness. Oneness would not mean that a person who is abusing me, I would allow him to be, owing to the fact that there is oneness and how can I say no to you? Not at all. Not at all. Taking a stand for my peace is oneness. And oneness is not something that I can cultivate. Just like gratitude is not something I can cultivate, it will be a false gratitude. Gratitude is a byproduct of being, uh, knowing who you truly are. It's a byproduct. So oneness is a byproduct. If I know and act out from the true being who I am, then gratitude and love and oneness, that's a byproduct. I cannot cultivate oneness. It's not a possibility. And I'll be too harsh on myself and others also. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me read this. So Jasmine is sharing, so shouldn't the other, I think, is annoying, has the right to be. Uh, Jasmine, the other also has right to be, who you feel is annoying. And so the other has right to be annoying, okay? And you have the right to say no. Just like being annoying is allowed, right? You're saying no, you're saying taking a stand for your peace is also very much allowed. Why don't you take a stand? You don't have to say yes to abuse, because whenever somebody is abusing, he is acting out from ego. So when you say yes to abuse, what you are doing is you are actually partnering in crime.
So my question here is, talked before. So I've been experimenting with this, because a lot of the annoying, just say, for example, I use the word annoying. A lot of annoying before was also my resistance to that person. Like sometimes the person is genuinely, there are people who are egoistic, and it's in our family. And it could be as simple as my husband or family, even my own brothers and sisters. So I am experimenting with it in the sense, first I get rid of my story. That my story, I have just how we talked about, there is a level of pain, but then there are stories added to it. So when I removed my story, and how you say you allow the space for you to be, and I think it's something, energy changes, or maybe, I don't know
Yeah.
if you've experienced, it's like something, energy around the house or the person you are, the vibration changes.
Mm.
And again, I don't want to hold on to that as an image to, oh, vibration change, oh, we have to
Yeah.
stand up. But I'm seeing the shift that the other person is not reactive anymore. I mean, their nature is still the same, but they're not
Yes.
reactive, or our
Yes.
interaction at least
Yes.
is not. It kind of, it's become smooth its
Beautiful.
own way.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I found a lot of times it was my annoying was me kind of dismissing that person.
Mm.
Yeah, they might be wrong, but they are what they are. But it was my judgment on that part. That's like a sort of nahi karna chahiye, shouldn't be like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. So
Totally.
a lot of it is that. But I
Yes.
understand they have, and beautifully, there were some relationships where I thought, I had to keep my distance.
Yeah.
इतना interact ना करो. You can't break relationships, but you
Yeah.
set those boundaries. But some relationships, I am actually able to better set the boundaries now
Yeah.
and in myself than before. पहले बड़ी clearly I thought I had the boundary, but now it's coming smoothly. Where I thought I didn't need to, I'm putting boundaries.
Yeah.
Makes sense, but
Beautiful.
uh,
Yes.
this has been my experience. Obviously,
Yes.
where there is abuse and everything, and there are places where I've actually spoken up to. But
Beautiful.
before I resolved it in myself first, like I'll tell you something very simple with my husband, for example, and who even knows he's a pretty calm guy. But
Yes.
I was angry, really angry, but I had to keep up. But it wasn't even it. कोई story भी नहीं थी. I was just feeling that anger. I don't know where it was coming
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
I had to settle it down, really settle it down. Because
Beautiful.
if I had blurted out something in that anger, it would have been, pata nahi, senseless or maybe too much. And once it kind of uh, settled in myself, they were still there, but then I only said that part. But I
Beautiful.
beautifully it was communicated much better than ever, the times I've tried before.
Yeah.
So, like, the point of all this, the bottom line again is the stories, the clarity, the peace you have within yourself. I think when something in you changes, your perspective of the outside changes too. And
Yes.
I don't know what it is, energetically or vibrationally. Other people, I find them very calm and
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I think my perspective to chaos has changed too. Like with some
Mm,
Maya process, there is some friction there too. It's the way of handling friction has changed. And this
beautiful.
kind of, and every time you experience it, it reinforces you to go back to your truth.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
That has
Beautiful.
been my experience.
Beautiful. Yes. So, this is the oneness which we were talking about. That the moment I begin to act out from a space within me, which is not saying because it is expecting or demanding or, acting out manipulations and agendas in its own mind. If I am not acting out from that space, the message that you sent out to the other person, it's a very clear message. And that's the oneness that we were talking of. So if I am allowing the abuse to happen, if I am allowing the other person to be annoying and not saying no, that it's not the right behavior, then I am allowing also my ego to be and the other person's ego to be. But the moment I am able to act out from that depth, which Jasmine was sharing out of her own experience, the moment I am able to share it out, have the strength to share it out, it actually sends a direct message to the other person, and the situation changes in some way or the other, and that the person just clearly gets the message that it's not the right place to do the uh, whatever, the abusive acts or the actions that were earlier going on. So this is how oneness connects. So we seem like separate bodies, but the moment I act out from my truth, the other person is compelled not to react through the ego. So a variation happens, immediately a variation happens. This is the oneness of the thread of oneness that we were talking of. So the more I am allowing other persons to be abusive to me and don't say no and letting them be and all that, I am actually allowing my own ego to be and their ego to act out more and more. But the moment I begin to take a stand for myself, my peace, the more I see that external situations change. So we are all connected. It's all connected. We may appear as separate bodies, but it's all connected within. That's really beautiful. And it also tells us that we are actually wearing goggles, and the whatever colored goggles I may be wearing, I will see the world in that way. The moment my attitude changes, my vision changes. I see the world in a different way. So again, it's all connected. The way I see the things, the world appears to me like that. The moment I change my perspective, all the things around me seem to change. They have a different beauty around them now. They appear, something appears new. Something appears more like an unfolding and not something that I already know. Usually when we talk to people who have been with us for a long time, we actually make them behave in a way that I already know what you are going to say. That's how we behave. And no matter that they keep on behaving in the same way for years. And the moment we allow ourselves this adventure of not knowing what I'm going to say, because truth is unfolding, truth is not a charted territory. So the more space I allow myself, the more space I also allow the other person, and things change. This is the beauty. So I was thinking maybe we'll take up the last paragraph, but I think it is already covered for whatever discussion we had today. And we need not take it actually anymore. You can go through it yourself. And Let me see if there is anything else. Yeah, this is really very beautiful, and I would request you to go through it really intimately. This a message to rekindle hope in the hearts of those who suffer. It's a beautiful message, and especially starting from you who weep, you who suffer and tremble, who dare not expect an end to your ills. Behold, there is no night without dawn, and the day is about to break when darkness is thickest. When I was going through a deep darkness, where I couldn't find connect threads, I just stumbled upon this, and it just transformed something. I don't know, this has a very strong power, this message. There is no mist that the sun does not dispel, no cloud that it does not gild, and no tear that it will not dry away one day. And then Mother talks about the deeper you go and you find this in the depths of your being, your light is burning. And here she talks about uh, the voices of the silence will gladden your soul and awaken within you the echo of the depths, the chant of divine harmonies. The deeper we go, the deeper pain and suffering really have the power to go take us deeper. Because in the external surface consciousness, we do not find any resolution. And it is our nature to be resolved. So we go deeper to find a resolution. And the deeper we go, we connect with deeper silences. This is a beautiful, uh, passage, and just take your time and go through it. It's a long one, so I'm not taking it today, and it's very clear. It's like it speaks to you, so there is no need to explain or elaborate on it. Yeah. And this one, yeah, this one also is beautiful. If at any time a deep sorrow overwhelms you, so let me just go through it a little. If at any time a deep sorrow, a searing doubt, or an intense pain overwhelms you, drives you to despair, there is an infallible way to regain calm and peace. So, in the middle of sorrow, in the middle of the tsunami that we were talking of, in the middle of the chaos of life, there is an infallible way to regain calm and peace. And what is that way? In the depths of our being, there shines a light whose brilliance is equaled only by its purity. A light, a living and conscious portion of a universal Godhead who animates and nourishes and illumines matter, because of which this body is animated. When we see a dead body lying, we see this person is not the same anymore. Where is the person gone? Where is the person gone? The body is still there. So the animated force that is animating this body, that sees through the eyes, that hears through the ears, that animating presence is the divinity. This material is nothing in absence of that divinity. A powerful and unfailing guide for those who are willing to heed his law. A helper full of solace and loving forbearance towards all who aspire to see, hear, and obey. No sincere and lasting aspiration towards him can be in vain. No strong and respectful trust can be disappointed, no expectation ever deceived. Suffering is not something inevitable or even desirable, but when it comes to us, how helpful it can be. So, the deeper we keep on going, and there is no depth to the depths that we go, more and more depths open up. Further, a deeper door opens. Further, a deeper door opens. Further, a deeper door opens. There is no end to this adventure. One can only begin the adventure and feel grateful about beginning it at least. Look at this, revealing new horizons, ever richer in hidden treasures, whose golden influx brings more intenser life to the organism. For a most part of our life, we lack an intensity in life. And when we are open to this depth of the being, an intensity of living comes as a gift. And then life does not feel like a struggle. Then each day feels full in itself. And you also do not await that, oh my God, 12, 20 more should be there. You say, okay, whatever is there, it's totally, one is contented, one is grateful for the journey. So this is so, one is really truly blessed to suffer, actually, if I can use that word. That if I'm suffering, I can make it such a good use of that suffering. Use it as a signal and go hit at the root directly where it wants to take me. And suffering actually will cease to be. It ceases to be. There is no requirement of that suffering. It has done its job. It has put you at the right place. Done. Over. Challenges of life may be still there, but there is no need for the suffering to be there. The sooner I hear the call, uh, it just goes away. It does its job and go away. Yeah. So I think that's it for today. If anything else, just share. Or I think we can call it a day or a night.
Monica, I'm finding the worksheet this time quite challenging. I've been sitting with uh, the exercises, and so if we could go through it, would that be possible?
Yeah, why not? So whoever wants to stay, we can go through it. Yeah, just let me put it on. Yes. So yes, Yasho, just guide me through what exactly.
Um, Question number 2, suffering results from a weakness. Now, a lower impulse. This is, can you explain what exactly should one be looking for here?
So the weakness is that I am not able to disidentify from uh, this person who is lacking in something. The weakness may be coming from the vital, emotional need to depend on someone, emotional validation that I need from someone, or maybe a want to possess, uh, a want to overpower someone. These are all weaknesses of the vital. Okay. So whenever I am following that weakness, for example, a want to possess somebody comes, and I'm not able to stop myself. I'm just following that call, and I become an overpowering influence on someone. So this is the weakness, that I'm not able to disengage from this identification of being that limited person who is incomplete without that activity of powering the other person, of maybe activity of wanting control over the situation. So this is the weakness. The weakness is that the life energy or the life force is not able to kind of be settled. The life energy just goes out and wants to have the control. So this is the weakness. And that's why Mother and Sri Aurobindo also talk about a deep rest in the vital, because vital is the one which is going out. This going out is the act of the vital. And those people who are lacking in vital energy, in the sense who have more tamas in nature, we will see that they don't go out that much. They don't have much demands from people, because the energy that goes out, that so those people who are very enthusiastic in nature, they have a strong vital, it goes out. But then they also fall into the trap, owing to this going out. They also fall into the trap of expecting and demanding too much from situations, because the energy goes out. So this energy of the vital, or the prana, or the life force, this has to be settled within the being. And this only gets settled when I realize that there is nothing I can gain from outside. I am fine within myself. I am complete onto myself. And that comes only in time. So this energy then rests. So the lower impulse or a weakness is then all the acts of desire, because desire is again arising from me being a separate individual who is incomplete, who is lacking something. That's why we desire, because desire makes me that I'm now fulfilled, at least for some time. And the moment I give in to that desire, that is again following a lower impulse. Why a lower impulse? Because now the when I'm following a desire, I'm actually accentuating the belief that I am the one who is lacking something, and that's why I must be fulfilled. And the moment I gain energy and wisdom and strength to not let the vital go out, it comes only in time and going through life experiences, that the vital is now settled, and it sees that there is no need for the desire, because what I am is complete onto itself. So the energy does not follow that lower impulse. So this is where one can notice the weakness, that yes, I have been wanting to overpower a particular person or a relationship. Yes, I have been jealous of a particular person, and I have been following this jealousy for a long time. These are the weaknesses that one can find. I don't know, it's possible that one is not able to find, and it's completely fine. So it's okay if one is not able to find that. Yeah.
Again, question number 3. Why is one insincere, manipulative in one's actions? I mean, one, of course, understands that suffering emanates from insincerity.
Yeah.
But why? I mean, it's it's uh, it's such a counterproductive, thing,
Yeah.
insincerity. Then
Yeah.
why would and one can't overcome it?
Yeah.
Why does it exist then?
Yeah. Yeah. So insincerity again. So everything is linked to the separate self. It's very clear. It's very clear. If I am insincere and manipulative in my actions, I am acting as a separate self. And what is insincerity? Insincerity is a kind of, feeling something else and saying something else, acting out in a different manner. And when I say feeling, the feeling is not arising from separate entity. So whenever I am doing an action, whenever I am following an impulse of jealousy or a weakness of lower nature, jealousy, desire, greed, all that, something in me already knows that this way is not fine. But when I act it out, the action is insincere, because I did not hear that little feeble voice which was saying this is not all right. But it's only again in time that I become capable of being truly sincere. So insincerity is a sign of also my weakness, that I am not able to uh, disidentify myself from the separate entity which is always lacking, which is always incomplete. Sorry. So when we say why is one insincere in one's actions, words, and behavior, uh, because one is acting out from the ego, because one is acting out from the sense of lack of lack of self-worth, because I am acting out of a sense of lack of worth. So whatever action I will do, I will want to do it so that it gives me some sense of worth. This is the insincerity. So the question that why is one insincere or manipulative? Because one is acting out of identification with the separate self
And
and
the separate self wants to perpetuate itself.
perpetuate itself. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So anything else?
That's it for the time being. If I have any query, I'll bother
Sure.
you again. Thank you
Perfect.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. If not anything, then thanks for joining, everyone. Bye bye.